When did you realize your 4 years at Tulane that, hey, maybe the NFL is a possibility?
Well, again, you know, the normal thing now is, you know, when you're a senior, you know, it's, you know, there's no NFL Network back in 1979, 80, right? So the draft wasn't on TV, you know, all of those kinds of things. So I remember my sports information director would tell me, hey, Ed, you know, you're getting some calls from some teams that they want to come and work you out. But I never went to like the Senior Bowl. They had the East-West Shrine Bowl at that time. And then, of course, the Combine. So I didn't get invited to anything. So there were other kickers and punters that went to those things. And Combine, I never went to it. And had some teams. Back then, they used to have a service called Bledsoe service, which was if you were a Bledsoe scout, you scouted for like 6 teams and had a region. And then they would have individual scouts from teams that would do it. So that's kind of how that was set up at that time. And I had a bunch of Bledsoe scouts come. I had the Detroit Lions come. And of all things, I had the New York Giants special teams coach in 1980, who was Bill Belichick.
Oh, man. He just left the Lions, too.
He had, right? So he was the special teams coach back in the late 70s and 80s at that time for the New York Giants. And he was very memorable because I got a call from the sports information director saying, hey, there's a coach from the Giants wants to come work out. What time can you be here? I gave him a time. Showed up. And, you know, so I'm in my stuff, all go ready to kick. And he put me through like an hour of these agility drills. You know, like I would assume like you would go through for other positions. Yeah. And I remembered halfway through, I said, hey, coach, do you know I'm a kicker? Okay, why am I doing these shuttle drills and I'm doing all these running stuff and jumping and he goes, no, I know you're a kicker. And so we finished the workout and I was exhausted. You know, I'm thinking I'm going out there to kick, and he says, do you have time tomorrow for me? I'd like to see you kick. So I'm going, okay, sure. I mean, that's what I do. So we made time again.
He tired you out.
Yeah.
And then the next day, he wants you to come kick
well, whatever his
sounds like Bill
whatever
Belichick.
his method was. So the following day, I kicked for him, and I did well. And he said, hey, what are you doing tonight? And I said, I've got nothing. I said, I'm sure I got some, you know, classwork I need to do, or nothing really pending. What? And he goes, well, I would like to take you and your wife out to dinner. Well, now being a college student, you know, anything off of campus food and any of those kinds of things was always a treat.
Absolutely.
So we said, sure, why not? Yeah, okay. He goes, where do you live? And I told him where I live, and he goes, okay, I'll come by and I'll pick you up. So he picked us up, and he took us to the French Quarter. There's a family down there called the Brennan's family. They owned Commander's Palace. They owned all these really high-end, beautiful restaurants, phenomenal Creole cuisine and all kinds of stuff. And they owned another place called the Court of Two Sisters in the French Quarter. And he took us to dinner there. So we're having a beautiful meal, and Coach Belichick is hardly talking to me. He's talking to my wife, asking her questions of, you know, how you're liking college life and all that. And
so they're doing the whole process.
He's doing the whole thing. I mean, he is diving deep into this. So we had a wonderful dinner, and off we go. We fade out into the sunset. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up was now it's the day of the draft. So the first day, and so the sports information director told me, hey, look, just stay close to your phone. You know, if the team will reach out to me, or if they don't have your number.
The NFL draft.
The NFL draft.
You were already drafted by.
I was already drafted by Hamilton.
Yeah.
About a month.
So you
or
had
so
an
before.
option there if you wanted.
I did. Yes, I did. And phone kept ringing now and again. It was always like a friend or something, or someone was calling from my wife. And I got a call, and it's Coach Belichick, and it's like the third round.
Wow.
And he said, hey, Ed, I just wanted to give you a call, because at that time, I think the Giants had the 5th pick, and the Lions had the 1st pick of the draft, because they took Billy as the 1st pick.
That's right.
So he said, hey, look, Coach Parcells just wanted me to get you on the phone and say, we're going to make you our 4th round pick. Just going to give you a heads up.
Wow.
I'm going, wow, okay, that's great. He said, now, things may change. I don't know what will happen, but he wanted me to give you a call, see if I had the right number, and here's how to get a hold of you. Yep, this is my number. So a period of time goes by, phone rings, it's Coach Belichick. He goes, Ed, I hate to tell you, we had a guy fall to us that we didn't expect.
Who was that player?
I don't know who it was.
Right.
I can't remember. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And he goes, so we're taking this guy as our pick. You're going to be our next round pick.
It's amazing that he called you, though.
Right.
You know?
He said, just kind of keep me on notice.
Yeah.
Next round comes around, he goes, Ed, same situation, right? So this happened. So at that time, the draft was 12 rounds, first 6 rounds the first day, the second 6, 7th through 12th is the next day. So they finished their picks. He calls me at the end of the draft on the first day. He says, Ed, Coach Parcells he doesn't care who falls in his lap. You're going to be our 7th round pick. We want to let you know now so you can maybe go out and have a nice meal and celebrate, and off you go. Well, I took his word up. My wife had a cousin, his name was Mike Rogers. He played for Hartford Whalers when they were in the World Hockey League. He ended up playing for the New York Rangers. He was a centerman, and he and his wife were in town from Calgary. So the 4 of us went to the French Quarter. We had a nice celebratory time.
Going to New York.
I'm going to New York. I'm going to be a Giant. So get back rather late. I mean, I think we rolled in like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Wasn't feeling any pain. And all of a sudden the phone rings like around 7:30 my time, which is 8:30 East Coast time because we're on Central time. Yeah. So the draft's starting at 9 o'clock. And there's a voice, hi, I'm so-and-so from the Detroit Lions. Can you tell me what your stats were your senior year? And I'm in a fog. Okay, I'm trying to answer the question, and I'm going, I'm a Giant. Why are the Lions calling me? So I give them the stat, hang up. 5 minutes later, the phone rings again. It's someone else from the Lions asking me for some other stat.
Did the Lions end up drafting before the Giants?
They had the first pick. No, they had the first pick.
Okay, so they had the first pick
of the 7th round. So they had the first pick of the second day.
Oh, I didn't realize back then that they did the draft in 2 days. I thought they did the whole thing.
No, they did it in 2 days.
Plus, when you were drafted, I think they had 12, 13, 14 rounds.
No, 12 rounds.
12 rounds.
They had 12. So
now it's
first
7.
6 and then 6. Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, so now we know what ends up happening.
Wow.
20 minutes later, the draft opens up, and the Lions make me their pick, the 7th round pick. And I get off the phone, and I'm going, God, I can't believe it, the Lions.
I know you go from.
I'm going. I'm a Giant. You know, like I was almost going out buying Giant stuff. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then about 20 minutes later, I get a call from Coach Belichick, and he says, "Hey Ed, congratulations. You know, you deserve to be in the league. You know, I just know you're going to come back to haunt me one day."